And the regular meeting of the City Commission for Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 will come to order. Please and cell phones. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Cleveland.
Here.
Vice Mayor Breen.
Here.
Commissioner Hartman.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner McGurk.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, please rise while Police Department Chaplain Bill Kitchen will lead us in the invocation and will remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father God, I thank you that we live in a country where we can come together like this, say what we want to say, and have people who are willing to serve our community and vote in the interest of the community. We are truly blessed. We don't have bombs falling on us. We don't have a war here like we see in so many places. Help us to never take these blessings for granted. I thank you for the people up here on the dais. I ask your blessing and protection on them. And I thank you for the people out here in the seats. And I ask your protection and blessing on us. And Father, I add, protect and bless those families of our first responders, the police, the fire, paramedics, the clinicians, all of these people, Father, and others that I have failed to name. Protection on them and their families. In Jesus' name I pray it, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And now, Ms. Lindsay Strasberg and Dr. Amy McCollins, owners and operators of Upward Trend Academy for Autistic Children in New Smyrna Beach, will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Mr. City Manager, are there any changes to the published agenda?
Yes, sir. I have one item that I will be adding under the city manager reports, and that is Resolution 07-24. Consider a request to apply for a FIND, Florida Inland Navigation District grant for the Brennan Center at the ADA dock replacement.
Thank you. And that's an addition in your report, or will we need to vote on it tonight as well?
Well, you need to vote on it as well.
Okay. And it'll be under new business and administrative.
Well, just you could put it either under consent or under administrative.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you so much.
thank you.
The only change I have is I have a note here. I'd like to recognize and thank birthday boy Jason McGurk, Commissioner McGurk, for spending your birthday with your friends here on the commission. I know that was a secret and you didn't want it out, but now it's out there for everybody to know and see and love you more.
Kelly, payback's coming.
So if the commission will now join me at the podium, I'd like at this time to have Rakia Beverly and Ann Harrell come forward. Rakia is a school teacher at Chisholm High School and the daughter of our former city employee Reggie Beverly. Ann Harrell, as we well know, the sister-in-law for Jimmy Harrell and the operator of our Black History Museum. Please come forward. We have a proclamation for you. City of New Smyrna, City of New Smyrna Beach proclamation in recognition of Black History Month. Whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas in 1915, Dr. Carter Goodwin Woodson, noted black scholar, son of former slaves, founder of the Association for Studies of African American Life and History. And whereas Dr. Woodson initiated Black History Week, 12th of February, 1926, and for many years, the second week of February, chosen to coincide with birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, was celebrated by African Americans in the United States. And whereas in 1976, as part of the nation's bicentennial, Black History Week was expanded to become and established as Black History Month, and now is celebrated all over North America. And whereas the entire month serves as an occasion to rediscover the enduring stories of African Americans and the gifts of freedom, purpose, and opportunity they have bestowed upon future generations, it is also a time to commemorate the countless contributions of African Americans, many of whom lived through and surmounted the scourge of segregation, racial prejudice, and discrimination to enrich every fiber of American life. Therefore, I, Fred E. Cleveland, Mayor of the City of New Smyrna Beach, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2024 as National Black History Month, and call upon all public officials, educators, local business owners, librarians, and all citizens of the City of New Smyrna Beach to observe this month with appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 23rd day of January 2024, and caused the seal of New Smyrna Beach to be affixed, and I've signed it as your mayor. Congratulations, Ann. And we'll just stay up here for one more proclamation, if you don't mind. Will Chief Eric Feldman, Detective Beverly Daly, Fonda Murnikai, and Carrie Kraft, Victims Advocate Office of the Police Department of New Smyrna Beach, and Christy Gillis from the Office of Child and Family Well-Being, please come up and accept this proclamation. We'll get you the proclamation. Come right up here. Perfect. Perfect. All right, here we go. The City of New Smyrna Beach proclamation recognizing January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Whereas human trafficking is a recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining a person for labor services through the use of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of forced labor or sexual servitude. And whereas human trafficking is a $32 billion a year global criminal enterprise and is a crime as well as a civil and human rights violation. An estimated 40 million people are currently victims of human trafficking, both for sex and labor. And whereas human traffickers prey on their victims by promising a life of hope and greater opportunity while delivering only enslavement, instead of delivering people to better lives, traffickers unjustifiably profit from labor and toil of their victims, who they force through violence, intimidation, to work in brothels and factories, on farms and in fishing vessels, in private homes, and in countless industries. And whereas January is National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, we commit ourselves to eradicating the evil of enslavement. Human trafficking is a modern form of the oldest and most barbaric type of exploitation. And we proclaim it has no place in this world, in this great nation, and in our city of New Smyrna Beach. Whereas in this month, we do not simply reflect on the appalling reality, we also pledge to do our best in all our power to end the horrific practice of human trafficking that plagues innocent victims not only around the world, but in our neighborhoods. And whereas more awareness and education are crucial to eradicating human trafficking in our community, in our state, and in our nation. And whereas Human Trafficking Awareness Month is observed in January in municipalities across our country in order to educate the public and raise awareness about human trafficking, and the City of New Smyrna Beach has become a strong commitment to social justice. I therefore now, Fred E. Cleveland, Mayor of the City of New Smyrna Beach, do hereby proclaim the month of January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in the City of New Smyrna Beach, and affix the city seal of commitment to creating a victim service and criminal justice response that assists victims of human trafficking and urges its residents, agencies, and champions to support an action to end human trafficking. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 23rd day of January 2024 and cause the seal to be affixed. And I've signed it as your mayor.
Ladies, I'd like to make 2 rows, and I just have to slide over this way so we can have each other straight out.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you, Phil, for always making the pictures look so good. Mr. City Manager, your report, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll be very brief. The chief and I and some of his staff met with Advent CEO and his staff on the 17th of January to discuss the mental health issue with homeless. We had a 2-hour productive meeting, and the result, they will do a telehealth with the homeless. So that's something that we will be working on with them. And I want to thank the chief and his staff, Kimberly and Vlad, for attending the meeting as well. We met with Innovation Park Frampton North LLC regarding the industrial park west of 95, south of 44, to discuss the planning process from this point on. So it looks like they will submit a plan probably sometime in the mid of February. And the process obviously is going to take some time with the comp plan changes and so forth. So if everything goes according to schedule, it probably would be sometime in August of 2024 where we might have the approval for the project. And there's a lot of other process we have to go through in terms of the industrial park itself. In the city manager report, this is the second meeting of every month. I attach the financial report, the social media reports, the permits issues summary reports, the capacity metrics report from the utilities, and also the development activity report. If you have any questions on those, I will be more than happy to answer them. The other thing is public participation at the last meeting. We had several participants who spoke opposed to the Cooper Street vacation, which that's something that's going to come up before you, and several meetings coming up. We had one participant who wanted to encourage us to and thanked us for getting ahead with the proposal for the parking initiative. We had one resident who had several questions. He was questioning the process, and a process problem with the agenda item for the vacation, the right-of-way, where the staff recommended denial of the item during the Planning and Zoning Board, but then, but again, it was the information that we have at the time for the City Commission was not provided at the time we had the Planning and Zoning Board meeting. So that's why the staff has changed the recommendations on it. He also made the comment that he feels like we are at disadvantage because the other side being represented by a lawyer and the city is not. But I just want to let everybody know that at the Planning and Zoning Board, we are represented by our legal department. So our assistant city attorney attends all the Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Also, he mentioned that the city lacks a vision for Central Beach and feels more creative solutions than what's being proposed can be found, which is, some of these issues are parking, which are we working on, but I'd like to be more specific, and I will get with Mr. Herman to go through that. He also questioned the way the land was deeded to the city and whether vacation is the proper legal procedure to follow. Well, obviously, if it's an item before you, then it's a legal item and legal process. It goes through the city attorney's office. And he also asked whether the proposal reduces size of the land, leaving an orphan parcel to avoid retirement for a 5-0 vote. And that is not the case. We would not be leaving an orphan parcel. That's all I have, Mayor. The other item is that I have under the city manager report, which we will put it under the consent agenda. And so we will call that as a 7.
H. Hotel? Yeah.
7H.
Very good. Thank you very much. Just to applaud and continue to encourage people to come up for public participation because your items are heard and you hear the city manager recount what action took place as a result of your input to what's going on around the city, which is a change we've made that I think is satisfying to those of you who are trying to participate fully in your city's government. So thank you for doing that, Colin. It's now time for public participation. This is the part that the commission gets to listen to your views, your concerns, your interest items, your accolades for great work being done by the city staff, any of that. I remind you all that this is a monologue, not a dialogue, so we won't be answering questions, but the city manager, the city clerk are taking copious notes, and we'll get back in touch with you if that's required. You'll have 3 minutes, so you'll see a green light when you come up to the podium. Just state your name and address for the record, if you don't mind. At 1 minute to go, there'll be a yellow light, and you'll be done at the latest when the red light comes on. So is there anyone interested in public participation this evening?
Good evening to all of you.
Just pull that microphone toward your mouth there, Brittany.
Is that better?
Yep,
Perfect.
very good.
Good evening. I am Lindsay Strasball, and I'm Amy Michaelis. For those of you who don't know, we are the owners of Upward Trend Academy, which is a local private school and pediatric therapy center which services children who have disabilities in New Smyrna Beach here. We just wanted to come up and give a shout out to all of you in front of us here just for your ongoing support. About a year and a half ago, we were at this podium asking for your support and creative ways to help us expand the awesome work that we do. And since then, we have been able to relocate into our new facility and actually expand again into the building next door. So it's because of all of the hard work that you do up here and your ongoing support that we are able to continue to serve this community. And we wanted to just appreciate each and every one of you and thank you for all that you do for us.
And recently we just had our second annual fundraising gala where we were able to raise around $50,000 to give to the local families here in Southeast Volusia. So we are very excited and grateful for everyone in our community and for you all. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments, ladies, and thanks for what you're doing for the children of our community. Somebody else, Cynthia.
Good evening, Cindy Sneezak, 512 Yukon. Appreciate very much, College, you're recapping the comments from public participation. I'd ask that as a body, you'd consider going into a little more specifics. I've spoken to you before, I have a long process background at several Fortune 50 companies. And one of the challenges that I understood from public participation last time and actually saw at the planning and zoning is that it's difficult and a waste of time for planning and zoning to have a packet that has, let's say, exhibits A through G in it. But then when it comes to the actual presentation that occurs that night, exhibits go on through P, Q, and R. So the deliberation, the preparation that the planning and zoning puts into the meeting, the pre-work that the staff does, if it's based on version A of a packet, yet the attorney and the applicant spends the entire time talking about version Z, that doesn't get us anywhere. It creates a lot of misunderstanding and gaps. So whatever it will take, and maybe it's an adjustment in the staff's process, but if the applicant is truly with a lot of late-breaking information, then maybe that item belongs on the next agenda and not that first agenda. So I appreciate that you're sending it back to them and that there was some explanation as to why we went 180 degrees on the decision. The other thing that I think I heard last week at public participation about process was that the two parties appear to be in any sort of zoning matter, the city and the applicant. So the public has no place to contribute to that or ask questions unless it is at that planning and zoning meeting. So whatever can be done to make sure that, particularly when items are revisited, that there is a clear understanding of the questions that are being raised by the public and a complete response by the city. If the applicant doesn't do it, then it behooves the city to do it, that there is understanding of how things are supposed to go. So for example, I heard Dr. Herman talk about a question and Khalid respond to it this evening about the city is represented by an attorney. That's true. Therefore, our representation is only through the board and through our attorney. So if a question gets raised about is vacation the proper process to follow, doing something for that additional 40 feet, the particular applicant for Cooper Street wants, that is part of land deeded by Ms. Detweiler's family to the city. And based on my research into prior deeds prepared by the Detweilers as gifts to the city, those deeds came with restrictions. So there was no comment at the last meeting, and I'm not sure I've heard this evening that there will be any further research into how restricted is that deed? And is there truly no other way is vacation the right process for turning that additional 40 feet over? And I'm not saying I'm in favor of the vacation. I think that there was a lot of missing information, and there still is from that application, particularly around what will happen in terms of traffic control and pedestrian crossings. Third Avenue is extremely dangerous as it is, and there's still a lot of vagary about the number of curb cuts, but if you vacate that land, it becomes a private way under the control, my understanding is, of the two people involved in that application. So it's nice that there'll be a public sidewalk that gets you back to what's being proposed. But in this last set of paperwork from the applicant, there does not appear to be any commitment to do anything other than provide an easement for this famous walkway. They're not offering to build it. They're not offering to maintain it anymore. So rather than the additional terms and conditions supposedly negotiated by the staff, it got walked in the other direction. So it's all part of the process. That's great, but we need to be really specific and carry things through to a very transparent and clear conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. Appreciate it. Anyone else for public participation? Seeing none, public participation is now closed. Thank you. Move on to the consent agenda. Before we ask if anybody would like one removed, is there any member of the commission would like to comment on any of the items in consent agenda number 7? Any, just for comment? Yeah.
No, only to go ahead and add Resolution 0704 to the consent agenda.
I've got that as item 7, hotel.
Yeah.
Yep, for the city manager. Okay, anybody want anything removed from the consent agenda? Can I have a motion to accept consent agenda adding the last item?
So moved.
Second.
And there's a second. Thank you very much, Madam City Clerk. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Breen?
Yes.
Commissioner McGirt?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. On to administrative items and new business. Let us review the RFP conditions for the Women's Club. Assistant City Manager Nybert, can we hear your report, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. The Commission previously directed staff to prepare an RFP for the sale of the Women's Club property in hopes of a buyer renovating the property. We also, according to ordinances, received 2 appraisals on the property, both $455,000 and $394,000 respectively, for an average of $424,500. It is our recommendation that that be the minimum bid price for the RFP. Also, as 2 conditions in the RFP, any buyers of the property or proposers cannot demolish the property in the course of completing the project and must honor the historical integrity of the structure in the course of any renovations. I will answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Mr. City Manager, would you like to set this up even more?
I just want to add a few things here because I know I had a few questions from some of you during the briefings. You are not obligated, when somebody submits an RFP, you're not obligated to accept that. The question was, what happened if they submit below the number? I mean, there is no obligation that you have to accept it. What we did is we took the 2 appraisals and we took the average, and that's what we put as a minimum for the price of the property. But there is no obligation from your side to accept any proposal that is submitted. So I just want to make sure that that is.
Appreciate that. Questions from the Commission, Vice Mayor?
To continue with that, Khalid, if we don't accept it, can we negotiate like conditions like due diligence and those type of items if they submit that within the RFP?
If you reject the RFP, then you cannot go back to the same one and renegotiate. You have to put it out again and maybe revise your RFP according to what you wanted to include in it.
Anyone else with questions? Yes, sir. Commissioner McGirt.
Not a question, just a comment. I was very surprised at what the 2 appraisals came back at. I thought it was very low. So that was just, wanted to share that. And I'm not, question about the RFP. As I understand, even if they offer the high end of the appraisal, we don't technically have to accept it.
Yeah, there is no obligation. You could just reject.
Just want to make sure because I was pretty disappointed with the appraisal prices to come. Thank you.
Might you, Mr. Nybert, opine about the variance between the two bids and what that might be? I know that I've been told that they did not break it out and said, okay, this for this, this for that.
Correct. The difference in the prices was a basis of the comparables that each appraiser used. To address Commissioner McGurk's issue about the low price, an examination of both appraisals indicated that given the poor condition of the structure, they felt that it had no value in being renovated and that the cost of renovation would exceed the value of the structure as it exists. So the value that you received as part of that those appraisals only represented the value of the property for the highest and best use.
Interesting. Thank you for that insight. Any other comments or questions?
I have
Yes,
one
ma'am.
more to follow up with what you just said. So basically, it's land value only. And with that, we're putting conditions that the building not be demolished, but that's kind of complicated when there's no value to the building at all.
Those were the conditions as dictated by the commission when we prepared this.
I understand. But we didn't know that in the appraisal that there wasn't any value at all.
Correct.
So
And you-
this could have to come back to us to allow the demolition then, if we don't get any offers as is, so that there's not conditions on the building that has no value, correct?
You could make that determination this evening as you're just reviewing the conditions and approving that the conditions go forward. If you want to eliminate that no demolition proviso, you can do that this evening before we publish.
I disagree that there's no value in the structure. I don't disagree that the repairs may cost more than the value of the structure right now, but that doesn't equate, in my mind, that there's no value in the structure.
Interesting that both parties, both independent parties came back and did it that way?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
My suggestion, Mayor,
Sir.
that keep it the way it is and see what you get. And if you don't get any proposals, or they submit a proposal and say, hey, you know, I cannot do it without demolishing the building, then you would reconsider. But the vote that you had before was to keep it, so keep it that way, and then you could decide later on.
Great coaching. Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve the RFP conditions for the Women's Club?
So moved.
There's a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nybert. The motion is approved. And now on to consideration for the approval of Strategic Government Resources Incorporated to be contracted for our executive search firm for the follow-on city manager. Director Kidd, we're ready for your report, ma'am.
Good evening. Just to follow up, we had our special meeting a couple weeks ago where you were presented with the four consultants who had the proposals for our recruitment. You selected our contract to go to Strategic Government Resources, SGR, and I'm here tonight with their contract for approval. I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Anybody, any commissioner have a point they'd like to make or a question? I have a couple comments, if not. Timing is a concern of mine and has been from the beginning, Heather. It is my opinion that the new city manager should be here for the budget cycle, which we start in the summer. I've reviewed the schedule, the proposed schedule with the city clerk, city attorney, and assistant city attorney who sat on the selection with you. And if it goes as scheduled, if we approve this tonight and they get the contract tomorrow, the 9th of April would be the forecast for when that selection could be made, which includes many public meetings, many engagements where the city residents and business leaders will get an opportunity to have questions, to meet socially, and have a look for what will be our next chief executive. So I want to. It's one of kick the podium to say, I'm concerned about that schedule, want to make sure that we make that schedule. And the first item on that schedule, if you look at it, is the advertisement, which is a kind of a City of New Smyrna dossier on all that's great about New Smyrna. I implore us to not get bogged down in the details of that and know that the right people will be applying, many people will be applying, and it is simply a flyer which talks more about what any concerned and interested party will have already researched, so lest we be worried that it doesn't have every single facet of our of all of the facets of the tapestry that makes New Smyrna special. We will get candidates nonetheless.
Okay.
The other thing is there'll be a lot of additional meetings, and so we will have several opportunities, and though this commission will need to make sure that in the period of time we set aside many other things so that we can have those additional meetings and additional open forums to select the next city manager. Is there a motion to approve Strategic Government Resources Incorporated contract?
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes, thank you very much. Director Kidd, we appreciate your diligence on this. Thanks for the report.
Of course.
Okay, we'll move on to section 9, which is ordinances and second readings and public hearings. Ordinance number 1-24 is second reading. Madam City Attorney, will you please read the ordinance 0124 by title only, please?
Ordinance number 124, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the City of New Smyrna Beach Municipal Police Officers Retirement Plan, amending Section 4.07 Supplemental Benefit Component for Special Benefits, Chapter 185 Share Accounts, providing for severability of provisions, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Director Kidd, your report, please.
I don't have anything additional to report, but I'm happy to answer any questions that I can for you.
Any questions from any commissioner on the second reading of the police pension benefits? Thank you, ma'am. Public hearing is now open. Are there any citizens who wish to speak? Please approach the podium and you'll be heard. Seeing none, the public hearing is closed.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you very much.
Second.
And there's a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes, thank you very much. Ordinance 0124 has been adopted. And now, public hearing will be conducted to consider the adoption of the following ordinances regarding annexation of properties located at 209 Hickory Street. Madam City Attorney, will you please read ordinances 224, 324, and 424 for the second time by title only?
Ordinance number 0224, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing .21 properties of property located on the east side of Hickory Street, north of Julia Street, addressed as 209 Hickory Street, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 1, providing for public hearing, providing for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Senior Planner? Oh,
I was going to go through the other two.
okay, go right ahead.
Ordinance number 0324, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of .21 acres of land located on the east side of Hickory Street, north of Julia Street, addressed as 209 Hickory Street, from Volusia County urban medium intensity to city medium density residential, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 0424, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning .21 acres of property located on the east side of Hickory Street, north of Julia Street, addressed as 209 Hickory Street, from Volusia County R4A Urban Single Family Residential Airport Overlay to City R2A Single Family Residential Airport Overlay Zoning District, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry for rushing the gun there to Senior Planner Bob. So, Mr. Mathan, we're ready.
Yes, sir. So the property owners have requested the voluntary annexation, a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment and rezoning from Volusia County future land use of urban low intensity and a Volusia County zoning designation of R4 urban single-family residential with an A attached for the airport height notification zone to a compatible city future land use designation of low density residential and a city zoning designation of R2 single-family residential, and still attaching the A for the airport height notification zone. The site contains approximately 0.21 plus or minus acres. It is located on the east side of Hickory Street, north of Julia Street. The address of the property is 209 Hickory Street. So at the regular scheduled meeting on December the 4th, 2023, the Planning and Zoning Board voted 7-0 for a positive recommendation to the City Commission to approve the requested overall annexation application. And staff also recommends the City Commission to approve the requested annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, amending the future land use to city low-density residential, and rezoning to R2 single-family residential with an A attached for the height notification zone. And as a summary of the staff report, subject to any questions the Commission may have.
Any questions for Mr. Mathan? Thank you, Bob. Appreciate your report. And the public hearing is now open. Are there any citizens who wish to speak on this topic? Please approach the podium. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approved, and we'll do this individually, so we'll do for 0224. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Breen,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion is approved. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 0324?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Sorry, who was the seconder?
Vice Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perine,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. 0324 is approved. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 0424?
Motion to adopt ordinance 0424.
So motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Martin, Vice Mayor Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It carries. Public hearing will now be conducted to consider the adoption of the following ordinances regarding annexation of property at 1100 Mary Avenue. Those would be ordinances 05, 06, and 07, 24. Madam City Attorney, will you please read each ordinance by title only, please?
Ordinance number 0524, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing .14 plus or minus acres of property located on the southwest corner of Mary Avenue and Milford Place, addressed as 1100 Mary Avenue, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 1, providing for public hearing, providing for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 0624, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of .14 plus or minus acres of land located on the southwest corner of Mary Avenue and Milford Place, addressed as 1100 Mary Avenue, from Volusia County urban medium intensity to city medium density residential, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 0724, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning .14 plus or minus acres of property located on the southwest corner of Mary Avenue and Milford Place, addressed as 1100 Mary Avenue, from Volusia County R4A urban single-family residential airport overlay to city R2A single-family residential airport overlay zoning district, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Senior Planner Mathan, do you have a presentation, sir?
Yes, sir. So the property owners requested a voluntary annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, and rezoning from Volusia County future land use designation of urban low intensity and a Volusia County zoning designation of R4 urban single-family residential with an A attached for the airport height notification zone to a compatible city future land use designation of low-density residential and a city zoning designation of R2 single-family residential with an A attached for the airport height notification zone. The site contains approximately 0.14 plus or minus acres. It is located on the southwest corner of Mary Avenue and Milford Place. The property's address is 1100 Mary Avenue. So at the regular scheduled meeting on December the 4th, the Planning and Zoning Board voted 7-0 to give a positive recommendation to the City Commission to approve the overall annexation application. Staff also recommends City Commission to approve the request of annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, amending the future land use to city low-density residential and rezoning to R2, single-family residential, with an A attached for the airport height notification zone. And that's the summary of the staff report, subject to any questions the commission may have.
Any questions for the senior planner? Thank you, Mr. Mason. Appreciate that. Public hearing is now open. Are there any citizens who wish to speak on this topic? Please approach the podium and you'll be heard. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. We'll now consider the adoption of each ordinance separately. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 0524?
So moved.
There's a motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perine?
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes, thank you so much. Motion is carried. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 0624?
So moved.
It's a motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Perine?
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes,
Thank you.
motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 0724?
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perine?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes. Thank you very much. So, the city attorney, if you don't mind, would you read ordinance 824 by the second time, for the second time by title only, please?
Ordinance number 0824, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach granting a non-exclusive franchise to We Got This Hauling LLC, doing business as WGT Hauling, to provide construction and demolition debris removal services within the City of New Smyrna Beach, outlining franchisees' duties, providing terms and conditions under which such franchise shall operate, providing for severability, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Director Ray, I see you're here. Your report, sir.
Mayor, Commission, this is a standard franchise agreement, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Does this provide exclusivity to this firm?
No.
So anyone can compete?
Yes, sir. We
Perfect.
have several that any company who wants to do roll-off service has to do a non-exclusive with us, and then
Got
we
it.
bring it to you for approval.
That protects the city in a variety of ways, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
do we have a list of those that have been approved anywhere? Is it on the website?
I have the list with me,
Okay.
but we can certainly post those that are approved. Yes, sir.
It's just something to think about, you know. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much for your report. The public hearing is now open. Are there any citizens who wish to speak on this topic? Please approach the podium and you'll be heard. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. We will now consider the adoption of ordinance 0824. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perine?
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The motion carries. Thank you very much, Director Ray. We have no first readings for ordinances. And so on to boards and commissions. This is the city clerk's spotlight. The Economic Development Task Force is going to needs to consider appointment of one citizen to serve an unexpired 3-year term ending in 2025. Madam City Clerk, we're ready for your report.
Yes, good evening. This is a newly established meeting body. There's currently one vacancy. Member Richard Chambers submitted his resignation on December 29th, and so we're looking for a nomination or appointment to the board. There were 3 applications received, one from Suzanne Jones, Diana Pohl, and William Yerkes. And so,
Are there nominations?
Diana Pohl?
One for Diana Poole. Any other nominations?
well, that being said, if there aren't any other nominations, then by commission consensus, it would be Diana Pohl that would be.
Are there any objections? Diana Poole it is. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Congratulations, Ms. Poole. The city clerk's office will reach out to you with official notification and appointment details. We thank you for your upcoming service to the city. And now the Turnbull Creek Preservation Committee. You want to move on to that one?
Yes, there is, this is also a 5-member board, and I had included on my cover sheet that I'm pulling up right now, pardon me. That I recommend reappointing the 4 current members. We have 1 member that resigned. Her name was Kathleen Planson. So we have 4 remaining members. I have reached out to all 4. They are very interested in continuing to serve. I put on here a term expiring August 1st, 2025. They were going about probably every 6 months and for reappointment, so I just thought that since they'll be continuing on, maybe to extend that to 2025. And so with your consideration tonight, there were 2 applications that we received, one from Tiffany Kyle and another one from William Robich. And so I'm asking for your consideration to reappoint the current members and also to make a appointment consideration for one of the 2 applicants.
Very good. Would you like them separately or done all together?
Reappointment first.
Reappointments. Is there a motion to reappoint the members who have volunteered to be to serve again?
So
I'll
moved.
make a motion to reappoint the current board members.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preen?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you.
And can I have nominations to fill the empty slot from one of the 2 candidates or both candidates?
May I nominate Tiffany Kyle?
One for Tiffany.
And I'm going to nominate William.
William? Very good. Okay, so we have a nomination for both. Madam City Clerk, please distribute the ballots.
All right, there were 2 votes for Tiffany Kyle, Commissioner Martin and Commissioner McGurk. The remaining votes were for William Robich. William Robich would be appointed, majority vote.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Mr. Robich, thank you and congratulations. The City Clerk's office will reach out to you for official notification and appointment details. So I appreciate you stepping up to serve your city. Let's move on to the Mayor and Commission reports at this time. Let's put the Vice Mayor up to bat first. Commission reports. Anything that you wanted to espouse about or comment on of meetings you may have had?
So this past week, it was a pleasure to meet with the chief and the 2 homeless shelter officers, caseworker, and also I had a shelter meeting last night. I just wanted to update a few things. We've had 18 go to the safe zone since October. which is a short amount of time. It's been cold, and I'm really happy to see that large of number in just a couple of months. I also want to mention and remind everybody, because we're not going to have another meeting before February 3rd, and that's going to be our First Step fundraiser. We have a table there. It's going to be about Hollywood Glamour, and the Rat Pack is going to be there. Marilyn Monroe is going to come back from the past, and Dean Martin, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So they're going to really educate us on some of the challenges that they have seen from the communities, and I think it's going to be a great event. I also want to encourage everybody to go to Images this weekend. I'm so looking forward to this. This is my favorite art show for New Smyrna, and I wouldn't miss it, and it's just always a pleasure. And so I'm going to welcome everybody and mark your calendars, and don't forget those events. And back to the First Step Gala, they still have tables and seats opening, so they need to sell a few more tickets. And if anybody's interested in hearing all about their plans for the future, then I would highly recommend that you attend this event.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Commissioner Hartman.
So earlier in the week, I attended a chamber event over at the Brandon Center, and of the 4 amazing speakers, 2 of them were from New Smyrna Beach, the police chief and the mayor. They represented us well, gave some very positive talks about what's going on in New Smyrna and how we're doing things. So I want to thank them both for that effort that they put forward. Along with that, it appears that the chamber has ordered up some beautiful weather for Images this weekend. So we will be there. So I will hope to see all of you out there also. And then on a business note, David McKenna has asked to come off of the CAC, the Citizens Advisory Committee for the TPO. And I've had one person contact me who was interested, which is Bob Williams. So if I can get a consensus from the board, I'll write a letter to the TPO making that adjustment.
Any discussion on that? Yes, ma'am.
Not discussion on the appointment, but just that it would be nice for us as a commission body to get some reports from these people who represent us. And I'm not saying on a daily, weekly, or even monthly, but to the best of my knowledge, our BPAC representative and our CAC representative have never been in front of this body just to say what it is they're doing, how they're voting for us, or, they're just, so I would like to see that, as well as get a, regular report from Randy on the TPO.
I'm sure Bob would love to come and talk to us. So.
Yeah, I'm sure, right?
We may want to rethink that one, but yeah, okay.
But they are representing us as a city, and yet we never hear from Commissioner Hartman or our representatives, and I think it would be appropriate.
Okay.
Excellent. Without objection, Bob Williams, be supported, and I've got a 3-minute clock. Anything else, sir, Randy?
That was
That's
it.
it. Okay. Commissioner Martin.
Images, of course, but then I sort of lived there over the weekend because I do a lot of volunteering for that particular art show. Couple of things. Proliferation of kiosks. Those nasty, defunct, graffiti-ridden, empty little magazine dispensers that we have on our right-of-way around the city. There is a possibility of getting some control over them through various design standards. We've been trying to figure out a legal way to corral them, do something with them. And I wondered if I could get a commission consensus that while the staff is working on various other land development regulation, that they include kiosks in there. As we're all trying to make our city as bright and beautiful and clean as we can. So I'd like to see that added to that if possible.
When you say kiosks, you mean like little magazine bins?
Yeah, those green, red, yellow, home news,
Yeah, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. There are places where there's 7, 8, or 9 of them, half of them empty. And
what is the law on that? I believe
So there are some First Amendment implications, so we would have to look at if anything would be permissible, and if they are, what those would be, but I know for sure there are some issues.
There was a sort of an oblique way of going, not saying that we would ban them, but apparently there is some design standard entree into this. It's a suggestion. It would have to be researched. Obviously, you know, they're on city property, but there was a mention of Pembroke Pines potentially having a rule that we could follow. So,
Well, let me do this. So here's what I'd like. At an agenda briefing, I'd like staff to just legal update me on what the actual issues are, what the challenges are, and then
That's
let me
fine.
understand that, and then
that's fine.
kind of report back on what my thoughts are on.
Close to the same thing.
Yeah.
Have staff look
Just wanna
at
have a
it.
Step up front before we commit.
Without objection, okay, that's a task for the city manager.
And my other one is just simply, and again, not for a decision tonight, but just to raise the possibility. The property on the northwest corner of US 1 and Canal, it's just not used. And it could be a very vibrant business gateway between East Canal Street and West Canal Street, and West Canal is clearly developing. So I think that, since we like the term highest and best use, we may want to consider selling that property off for a better use. That's it, just to put the thought in the brains, and thanks everybody, and see you at Images.
Thank you very much. Commissioner McGurk.
Thank you. Once again, I'll just ditto what everybody said about Images. It is the best, and I look forward to it this weekend, and the weather is going to be amazing. You know, I went and I attended a fundraiser for Upper Trend in the last week, and I can't articulate enough how great it is to have a school like that here in New Smyrna. New Smyrna always impresses me. For this little town, we have so many great things going for it. And what Amy and Lindsay have accomplished, you know, they come up and they thanked us. And all I can think was, we didn't do anything. All we did, they do all the work, they created this thing, and all we needed to do was do a minor land use change, zoning change, for them to be able to operate this building. So, I mean, you know, it's almost painful for them to thank us for what we did when they're the ones who really have put this together and accomplished this amazing goal in this community. And I was so impressed with the turnout at this fundraiser. I mean, I was a lightweight, and that was a great feeling to see so much there. And so I just want to spend my time complimenting Upper Trend for all the things that they have accomplished. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the thanks is all mine.
Thank you, sir. Nicely done. I'd like to reiterate happy birthday to Commissioner McGurk, and thank you for spending your time with us tonight. And then I lament to announce to the crowd assembled and to the City Commission, I had arranged with Mr. Pitt's team. Brad Pitt was supposed to show here at 8 o'clock, but I don't think I can delay the proceedings to make that schedule work out, so we'll have to reschedule that for another date. I also attended the Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Focus and State of the City of the three cities of New Smyrna, Edgewater, and Oak Hill. And thank you for your kind remarks, Commissioner Hartman. But I want to reiterate one more time, the star of the show that I could have listened to all the whole period that we were there was our overqualified police chief. He and Don have blessed our community by being a force inside, and a leadership that they have displayed in public and in the families that support our police force are second to none. Chief, we can't thank you enough for how you represent our city, both in uniform and speaking to various organizations. I've never been so proud to have you as a member of this team, so thank you very much. I attended the Transportation Subcommittee of the Volusia League of Cities Elected Officials organization, headed up by Mayor from Port Orange. And we agreed to support the TPO and to get in step with the TPO and provide priority scheduling of the county's stated goals in order of precedence, and use the power of the body of elected officials to influence the county and the state of which the TPO's determined requirements would be, and to use all speed and alacrity with getting those initiatives funded and getting them on board. And so you'll hear more about that in the future, but that's where it is. And this event called Images, I'd love to hear more about it. I'm anxious to understand what they do. And I jest, I'm very excited about being at Images. It's a fantastic event. Recently turned over some new leadership coming aboard, and so we'll see some different things coming up in the future. Not the least of which, I would like to see transportation differentials offered. Right now, it's strictly bring your cars and pack it into the city. I'd love to investigate what a bimodal service might be of having people park remotely and be transferred into the event separately to see what that would look like. Madam City Clerk, you have anything extra in your report, ma'am?
I do not.
Thank you. Madam City Attorney? No report. Very good. Mr. Rashadat, sir.
One last report. Happy birthday to Commissioner McGurk. The second thing is, Mayor, I owe you a lunch. We just went over about 7 minutes over 7:30, so.
I wasn't going to say that publicly, but I was working hard to get it out at 7:30, Colin, so you owe me. Very good. I like it like that. Any other issues or topics? We're adjourned.
Thank you for the birthday wishes.